Hey there, my friend. Perry Tinsley here. In your health and fitness journey, you're no doubt going to come across obstacles, barriers. I mean, it would be silly to think that everything's going to be smooth sailing. Well, you could kind of want it to be, but challenges will come up. But it's how we react and perceive those obstacles and barriers that really determine the results that we're going to have. So let's talk about the differences between obstacles and barriers. Yes, there's a difference, and these things called excuses. Stay tuned. Hey there, my friend. Welcome to another Power Blast podcast where we provide nourishment for the soul, allowing you to transform from the inside out in mindset and fitness so that you can recharge your battery and reclaim your power. All right, so before we get into all this amazing stuff on overcoming obstacles and barriers, make sure you hop over to my calendar at talktoperry.com. Only when you're ready. I open this up for podcast listeners just so you can get on there and keep that energy high and reach all of your goals and recharge your mental and your physical battery. That's usually what I'm referring to when I'm talking about recharging your battery so that you can reclaim your power. And we do that in 15 minutes. That's over at talktoperry.com. These things called obstacles. I know that they're going to happen. These are those things that we can navigate around. But the thing that I've learned over the years is that many of us, and I've fallen into this too, we perceive obstacles as barriers. Just think of like you're floating down the river. Maybe you're on a raft, maybe you're in a canoe, whatever it is. You're floating down the river, and maybe there's a rock that's jutting up or a tree or something like that. And you just kind of just notice it, but then you navigate around it, right? You're not like, oh my gosh, there's a tree, there's a rock, I got to quit. That there's no way to go any further. I mean, then if maybe that's shoreline, then you're not in a river, you're in a lake, right? But many people, I don't know about that analogy. I've got another one that I'll share with you in a second. But many people perceive obstacles as barriers. They say, I don't have any time. I don't have any energy. I'm just too busy. I don't know how. These are, a lot of times you might even put that in the excuse category. But a lot of times people will look at things and just like, I can't even begin or I can't continue because of this thing. And so when we're faced with an obstacle, I mean, seriously, one thing is just to step back and be aware. A lot of times we've just gotten into the habit, but it's just becoming aware. Is this an obstacle or is this, can I control this? Can I manipulate it? Can I navigate around it? Because if that's the case and you're honest with yourself, then it's just making a powerful choices to keep going, stay focused, and keep navigating around. It's figuring out a way. I was in a group with Dean Graziosi. You may or may not know him, but there was a great story that he had shared. And it was about this group of kids. Who were with their dads. Maybe it was like a church group or something like that was going to go down some rapids in Colorado. And it rained like 5 days prior to getting there, and the rapids were just raging, so they thought it would be called off. And the guide came out and said, no, we're still going. Kids, get in the boat, And he said to the parents, he said, you know what? Your kids are going to be okay. And as he's talking to the parents and the kids, he's like, you see this finger? Wherever I point this finger, when we're on the trip, you pedal your hearts out to go in that direction. And he went on to tell the dads, when I first became a guide, we were having challenges. I mean, I'd say, don't go into that rock, or watch out for those rapids, or watch out for that tree. And inevitably, we would paddle right into it, or the raft would go into it. And what I realized is wherever I focused and we put all of our energy into is where we would go. And so I love that, they obviously had a great trip and navigated around all the obstacles. So it's noticing that they're there. It's not the thing that you're going to crash into and do, and keep you from your goals. It's focusing. And hey, I always want to, I'm going to tell you about this. I want to help you stay focused and reach all of your goals. That's why I tell you, jump on my calendar at talktoperry.com. Yes, I do these calls, but a one-on-one call, which is totally free, that allows me to hear what your goals are, what things you're working through, what struggles you have, anything that's become an energy drain for you. And I'll tell you within 15 minutes of us talking together what direction's going to be the best for you, where you're going to get the biggest results from, so that you can recharge your mental and physical battery and reclaim that power of yours. And you'll walk away with 3 strategies. I'll give you 3 strategies on there, so you can boost your energy, reclaim your time, and make yourself the priority. Seriously, how would your life look different if your battery's running at 100% every single day? That calendar is over at talktoperry.com. Now, you might be wondering, what's the difference between an obstacle and a barrier, Perry? I kind of alluded to that, but an obstacle, it gets in the way, it slows down your progress a little bit, but it doesn't stop you, where you can just navigate around it. And barriers, those are things where they're going to halt your progress. You just got to figure out a different way around it, or give yourself grace. I think of like a speed bump in a road, that's an obstacle. A big barrier stops your car. Well, you have to reroute, find a different way if you want to keep going somewhere. But often when it comes to our health and fitness, especially working out and eating right, we face challenging circumstances. Our emotions kick in, and we give this value. We put the obstacle up into the barrier category, and we're like, oh, I just can't overcome this. And it's like, this little speed bump just slows you down. Just redirect, right? It's not stopping you from going on. It's figuring out a way. And I've coached a lot of people, even in recent days, who will share with me some big thing that they've like, oh my gosh, I've got an overworked schedule, or oh my gosh, I did this, and they think it's taken them totally out of the game, which it hasn't. It's just like, well, let's just figure out a different way. Because with persistence and staying focused on your goal, you can achieve any obstacle, provided that you have a burning desire. Lack of motivation. A lot of times people say that. No time, no energy. Those are obstacles. You can figure out a way, and you can actually take control and manipulate those. Even when I first started out. So first started out my journey, I said Monday's my start date. And that weekend, I'm walking down the stairs, carrying some boxes along, wasn't watching my footing, and rolled my ankle on one of the dogs had left a toy or a bone or something on the stairs, rolled my ankle. Now I'm going, oh my gosh, well, I guess I can't start my exercise. That's totally out of it. Now I'm like, really? Is that the truth? Or you just like using that as an excuse? Now, I'm not saying work through injuries, but what I did was I realized I was making an excuse. There was an obstacle. There was a way to figure out a different way and keep making progress even while my ankle heals. And it wasn't like sprain or anything like that. It's just uncomfortable for a few weeks. So I just did lightweight sort of things, or I worked the upper half more. Okay. Well, I just modified exercise. So often many of us want this big lightning strike of motivation to hit us. And it's like, you know what? It's just staying disciplined. A lot of times we lose that drive. We get impatient that results don't come fast enough. But that's just an obstacle. And we're making it bigger than it needs to be. That burning desire to succeed's got to be way higher than those excuses or the things that you're calling a perceived barrier. If you can't get motivated, be disciplined. Multiply your discipline. And think of all the options that you have. Well, this isn't going to work. What are my options? As opposed to saying, well, it's all or nothing. It's looking at possibilities. Most of the time, the obstacles, they lose their power and their control, and they dissolve right in front of you. When you just say, oh, I'm going to figure out a different way. Because obstacles you have complete control over. You can influence them in some sort of way. You can take care of many of them right now, today. Or they're maybe temporary, and they'll go away soon. Like, I forgot my gym bag, or I'm not feeling motivated. I got up late for work or whatever, or running behind. But barriers, those are more permanent. They're here to stay. Maybe it's a demanding job, or health issues, or chronic lifelong injury or illness of some sort, or maybe you're taking care of aging parents or something like that. The key is with barriers, you just need to give yourself grace and just say, you know what, can I figure out a different way? Or that I can't move forward with this. But it's shifting your mindset rather than feeling powerless over it, empowering yourself with a different plan, of action. So most of the difficult situations we have in life, they're here to give us lessons, to help us grow, to help us improve. They're not here to just be, there's another inconvenience in life. It's like, what can I step back and learn from this? So from this point forward, become aware, notice. And when you feel stuck or things start to take you off course a little bit, more than maybe what you wanted, just say, what, this is an obstacle. What can I learn here? What can I navigate? What am I in control of when it seems out of control? Can I do something about it? And then take action. If it's a barrier, just say, what, I'm giving myself grace. Can I get creative and create a whole new plan of action? And sometimes you got to just take a step back. I didn't talk much about this, but look at it. Are you using an excuse? I mean, those things, if they're excuses, you can eliminate those really quick on the spot, take away their power. But if it's an obstacle, you just make a choice, focus, keep moving forward toward your goal. Barriers, just find another way to be persistent. So if it is an excuse, just go back to your burning desire and your why. Because if those are strong enough and you're willing to do whatever it takes, then you can eliminate that excuse just like that. So just know, you can choose to use your power, take control, or you can let the excuses, justifications, the alibis, the perceived barriers that aren't really barriers control you and drain your power. So it's deciding and committing to yourself and your goals, and it's going to take time and focus. But choose to figure out new ways. Look at possibilities, learn, grow, keep moving forward. Love to hear your top takeaway today. Drop those in the comments. I do respond to those. You absolutely rock, my friend. And as always, remember, it's never too late. We'll see you next week. That's another Power Blast podcast in the books. Thanks so much for tuning in. And remember, when you are ready to recharge your battery, make sure you go to talktoperry.com. That's talktoperry.com. That's Perry. And I want to listen. I want to hear, what's going on. I want to help you in that 15-minute call to recharge your battery and reclaim your power so that you're off and running and creating massive momentum toward your dream. Also, every day, I am delivering more motivation, support, tips, and strategies inside my free community with amazing people like yourself. And we are conquering the mindset and the fitness. I do 52 weeks of free training in there. Plus, I coach and I mentor people, as well as give you access to tons of resources and guides. It's called my Upside Down Fitness community because we work on a lot of mindset stuff, the inside stuff. And we're a fun group of people striving to make healthier habits in this awesome chapter of life. So make sure you get in there. I promise you'll absolutely love it. Just head over to upsidedownfit.com and you can get into the group. And hey, you would be an awesome friend if you get over to iTunes or wherever you listen to your podcast and leave an honest rating and review for the Power Blast podcast. It helps awesome people like you find this show even faster, and that's who I'm looking for, awesome people like you. That's all I have for this week, my friend, and just to let you know, you absolutely rock. That's all I have for this week. I'll see you on the next Power Blast podcast, and always remember, it's never too late. We'll see you next week.